there beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a longer video and I hope that you can bear with a long one because this has been in the making for months. I am super bad at editing. I really don't like editing videos, but my speed paint videos are easy for me to just put together and then just have them done. But this one was really difficult to edit, also because it was over 10 hours of footage and I had to cut it down with the time lapses and the parts where I'm talking, so it was a struggle for me to get done. But what you will be seeing today, which you can probably see from the title, is that I made a lightsaber. A usable lightsaber, or I mean, it's not a weapon. It's made of cardboard and plastic, but as a prop, it's a functional lightsaber. As a little side note, as you can tell, I have buzzed my head, and I did this in July, I think, so a month or so ago, 2 months, and the video of the lightsaber I made back in April. So at the end of this video you will see me with my longer hair, as you've seen in my previous videos, but that's just because the timeline just didn't fit where I'm filming this now, and the clips making the lightsaber was filmed months ago. So that's why you will see my hair lengths change, and don't be confused about that because this is my hair now and that was my hair then. So just so you know that and don't get confused about my hair length just changing. I made this lightsaber for a friend of mine and she's a huge Star Wars fan, and I wanted to make her a personal lightsaber just because I really wanted to do something creative and I thought this would make her really happy. And in the end of this video there's a little bonus clip of her like using the lightsaber for the first time, which is a treat. It was really fun and she was really happy with it, and it just warmed my heart. And I really want to make one for myself and take some pictures with her so we can have like a lightsaber battle, but hopefully you'll see that in the future on my social media or something. I will keep you posted. So since this video was so long with the 10-hour footage, the time-lapse intervals are sped up an insane amount, and it's not for you to follow step by step what I'm doing in each clip, but more of you to see the process I went through, because I talk a lot in this video from step to step, so you can see what my thought process was during the making of the lightsaber. So those parts will be longer than the actual making of it, if that makes sense. And I hope you will like it anyways, because it's more of my process and thoughts that go into it that matters to me more than the actual me fiddling with the lightsaber and trying to keep it in the frame of the camera, because apparently I'm not very good at that yet. It's much easier with a piece of paper where I can just tape it to the board, and I can't really do that with the lightsaber. I have to turn. So since this video is such a long one, I will put some timestamps down below so you can skip ahead and back and forth if you intend to make a project like this one yourself. I highly encourage you to do so. It's really easy and accessible for everyone to do. So I will put some timestamps down below just for you to easier skip back and forth between the process and steps throughout this lightsaber project. Okay, so what I've gotten so far for the handle, or whatever you call this, hilt, is this, which is the first and second layer, and I forgot to film it, so I guess that I'll just walk you through what I did to get here, and to also like make the bottom here, or the bottom, and making it light and hopefully be as bright enough to light up the light part when I get that far, but we'll see. What I did was have this as the handle part. I made it a little longer, as you can see here, but also the torch I have in here, or flashlight, also extrudes from it because it's not narrow enough to go into it. So I have an extra here, and as you can see when I put it in, the head part of the torch extrudes. So that also gave it a little bit more length that I had to accommodate for. So that is the base of it, and I just taped the light to it with masking tape. So easy. This is what I've used the most during this project. It's just masking tape. It works wonders. It's great. So then I had the base here, but I had to figure out what I wanted it to look like. So I made some sketches, and since it's from a friend, I asked her what lightsabers she liked the most from the movie, and she said Padme, Qui, I can't really pronounce his name properly, and then Leia's. And I wasn't really a fan of Padme's, and I didn't know how I would make the extrusion here, as you can see, hopefully. I didn't know how to make it properly, so I was like actually just dismissing this sketch from the get-go, but I had to sketch it down just to see a concept of it. And then Qui, I liked his design of his lightsaber a lot, with the lines here and the levels in it too, so like the lower parts and the higher parts, and also the lines and just in general just the detail. And Leia's, I really like the lines of it and the way it has a bend to it, and also this part here. And then I tried to combine these two somewhat in another one, where this down here is just seen from two sides, from the front and from the back. And I want to keep the holes from Qui's, but also giving it a little bit of layers with the extrusions in these holes, which you'll later see that didn't work properly for me. But generally it's very much like Qui's. Don't know if that's a bad thing, but I like it, and I hope that coloration and stuff will take away from it just being a replica of Qui's. That's my intention, at least. So yes, from this idea I made this half of the measurements of the actual model, so that was very easy for me to just like approximately measure what each part of this was, and then time it with 2. And then I had the measurements, and that was a little easier for me to make the templates. So from having the base, I had to make stencils for the cardboard going around, and I just use cardboard from a cereal box. So because it's very bendy and it's not too thick. But first, before doing this, I had to figure out how to press the bottom, because I can't remove this, press it, and then put it back in. That just didn't work. But there's too much space down here to reach it with the finger. So what I did, and I thought it was a clever idea, I had 3 or 2.5, because this one is cut in half, corks from bottles, wine bottles, and I just taped them together in like a line, and I filled up this so it wouldn't slide and not hit the bottom button of the torch. And then I stacked them up, reaching the top of this, and then I glued a piece of round cardboard to it to fit the diameter of the tube to hide it, and then that means that now I can press it and it lights. It actually has a very nice feel to it when pressing it, and it's not, it has to be pushed a little, but I don't mind that. So that was my first query, to do that and make it actually light up. Then I moved on to the stencils, and the first one, the layer, I've tried to make them in layers here. So as you can see, the black parts here are the base cardboard of this, just the plain of this. And then the gray parts are gonna be the second layer, which is what I've taped in here. And my stencil for this was this one, and I, at the same time of making this, I just made the stencil for the other part as well, the one going on top of that. And with this layer, I realized that cutting out the very fine detail this part here, which on the stencil was this very thin row here, was just not doing it for me, and especially not after like reinforcing it with the masking tape. So that part, as you might be able to see here slightly, I don't know if it's seeable. I had to just tape it over because that didn't work. So that won't have that raised layers, it would just be holes. Which again reminds a lot of Quiz, but yes, that's what I'm doing. And that is how I got here, and I like the feel of it. It's very heavy in a good way with the torch at the top, so I hope that it won't be too unbalanced when the sword or lightsaber part comes out of it. So yes, that's what I have so far, and the next step from here will probably be to paint this black to just get a base, and then I think I want to make it blue or teal blue or turquoise because that's my friend's favorite color, and since I'm making it for her, I want to customize it the best I can. So yeah, that's the next step, and then after that I need to make the stencil for the other white part, and also the button that has to go in the middle, even though it's not functioning button, then I just still need it for aesthetic reasons. I know I said that I wanted to paint it first, this thing here, but then it dawned on me that that would be stupid, since I'm putting another layer on top that has to be painted as well. So I'm switching it around and doing the second layer first, and then I will paint the entire thing once they have been taped together. So that's what I'm doing. So first here, as I did with the first layer that you didn't see, I have my template here, and once I've drawn this side, with this side of the template, I will then just flip it over to have it like perfectly mirrored. So that's why I only have like part of it and it looks a little weird. But yes, that is what I'm doing. Oh, actually, it's not being flipped that way. I'm stupid. It's gonna be flipped that way. Well, it's nice that I figured that out now. So yes, I'll start with this, and the cardboard has like a little dent in it here from where the sides of the box were, but I hope that I can just blend it into the stripes going around at the bottom, and it won't be visible. So that's my plan, because I don't want it to go over in the top area here. So yes, that's what I'm doing. So I'll just get to it. Okay, so now I have refined this second layer, so I tucked in the tape as you saw me do, just to make the edges a little bit more like clean. But as you can see here, it is gaping at the sides, and I don't want that. I want it to be more flush with the layer beside it, so I just have to glue some of this area, and the same goes for the back side here. So that's what I'm gonna do, and as you can see here, this is the button, but I had to just pull it out because I know that I'm gonna paint it, and I want to get into the crevices of this, and also the underside of it. So I'll just keep it out for now until I've painted it, because I don't want to risk any of this masking tape being visible in the final result, because that would kind of ruin it a little bit. And I hope that when painting that I can get rid of some of this masking tape texture here. But of course I have to make the final decorations on this part and this part down here before I can move on to painting. So yeah, first off, gonna glue the sides. Just gonna do that then. So, my camera decided to just shut down for a second, so I think I got a little bit more done since it stopped. If so, I made these stripes, which are gonna be the cross thingies, tubes going over here. And I made two of some of them, which are gonna be more raised than others. So that's why I just have a few more of some of them here. I also made the little fake button, which goes in this space right here. Don't know if you can see that. So yes, that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna glue these on, tape them on to the appropriate areas. Oh no, this one. And then I will take it from there. So, this is the base of the lightsaber, which have taken me forever and way longer than I thought. However, I can see I'm missing the button, so I'll just glue that on in just a moment. And yeah, so this is the base, and all I need to do now is starting off with painting this black. And then I'll see how it looks, because right now it looks kind of cool, but then again not, because you can obviously see what it's made of. And I hope that painting it will just remove some of that and make it look cooler. But the weight of it is pretty nice, like it has a good weight. And I also like the button in, or yeah, this thing in. Thank you, car. I also like this thing in the button, and I'm quite excited to see how paint will look on it. So that is what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. So now this is painted black completely, at least as far as I can tell. And it looks better now. I think some of the depth has gone off, but I will bring that back with some other layers of paint. I don't know when this went off, but blue on this and silver on this. If I don't like it, I can repaint it. God damn it, camera. So yes, sorry about this, but that's what I'm gonna do now. So now everything has been painted blue or colored blue. I quite like this look. The blue paint I had mixed was not really the color I was going for, so I used my dry pastels to just like darken and lightening some areas that it turned more this lighter blue, which I'm really happy with. Later on I think I will seal it or something, because right now it's still very smudgy. So yeah, I will do that later. Now I will go ahead and do the sides. So on the edges here, in the very narrow parts, you can see that, in the narrow edges here, I will do them silver, but not with the leaf as I'm planning to do with the rest, because I'm afraid of getting the glue that I use for that onto this and then ruining that. So I will just be very careful in painting the edges here with my silver watercolor metallic thing, and hope that that works. If that doesn't work, then I will try and be very careful with acrylics. But this I will start with, because I know better how this works than acrylics, and I can easily work with this. So wish me luck. now the silver has been painted on, and I know it doesn't look very neat at all right now, but I tried to stay on the lines. Like I had some, focus, yes, some spills here and there on the blue, but I hope it will look nice in the end, even though, or that it doesn't look as obvious. So yes, that's where I'm at now. Like down here I actually hit pretty nice, so when it just looks straight on, I think it looks pretty cool with the border, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead with the silver. And I am using silver leaf. You can see how reflective it is, like you can basically see mirroring. Don't know if you can see, pull the camera, nah, not quite. So yeah, I will be using this, and I'll just be covering my mouth with some cloth, because blowing on this, as you can see, no, you can't even see that, but I like barely breathed in the direction, it just already like flopped it all. But yeah, trying to be real careful with that, and then using like adhesive specially made for the glue, or for the silver leaf. And I think I'll just take sections at a time and see how it works and how it dries and stuff. So like just trying to get this part up here, because I think this is the least complicated, because it's just straight. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, and hopefully this will turn out great in the end. That took an eternity. I don't know how long this took, but I think I filmed for an hour, maybe. And I did not want to film more of it because it would just be dragging on for too long, making the time lapses. So yeah, I was just sitting with this on my free time. And trying to patch up everything, and I think I will find small silver specks for the next 100 years, because it's covering everything, like my clothes, my stuff around me, my chair. But I think the result is definitely worth it. Like, I know you can see that it's like not actual metal, but what did you expect? But I really like how shiny it looks, and I hope that with a few refinements it will look even better. But yeah, while like I was touching this and holding it, I could just feel that all the pastels were just rubbing off, so it's gone back to that color that I didn't really like anymore. So I think I will try to do something else, which is not pastels, because that will just rub off, even though I know I will see it later. But I'll see if I can try to use my colored pencils instead, and see if that will work a little better as the first layer, and maybe giving the pastels afterwards, giving them a shot again. But I really hope that I can be done with this handle soon, because I've been working on for a very long time, and I really want to see the end result and make this the laser part, the saber part. So I'm looking forward to that, but now I will just get into just coloring things and trying to deepen up things and like correct some of the mistakes I've made along the way. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Like, I really like it, and it's still light. It has a few different like settings, so that's why it's flashing there. So yeah, it's pretty damn cool. So after a little bit of tweaking here, I am really happy with the result. I really like the depth of the shadows and the highlight. So I'm really pleased with how it's looking right now. I could tell from just dusting off some of the pastel that I should really just not touch the pastel right now. So I will just leave it here and then do the next thing, which is to seal everything and just have it stay as it is right now, because right now I'm loving this result. I am currently outside because the glazing I'm gonna use for this is a furniture glaze, and it's emitting like strong fumes and like smells. So if you want to do it inside, be in a room with like a lot of ventilation. I just chose to do it outside because the weather is nice enough to do it. And I will just start out with the blue, and then I'll see if I can do it on the silver as well, just to seal everything, but I don't know how it will affect the silver leaf with like taking the shine off. So first I'll be doing it on the blue and see how that turns out. Okay, so I can see from the first layer I just did on this part compared to this that I don't know if it's a problem, but the glaze I'm using is water-based, and since I use my Derwent watercolors or water pencils, they're activated with water, and they turn more vibrant when activated with water. So I can definitely see that the blue is like popping more, which I like. It's just taking away some of the softness of the pastel. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I think I'll just do this overall and see how it looks. And I could also tell that I was dragging some of the paint around, like the brush was like picking up some of the color. So I hope that it will still look good after I seal it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Now all the blue has gotten a layer, and I quite like the green shining through the blue with the activation of the teal I used on top of it. So yeah, I quite like this. It's slightly shiny, like not as much as this. And I don't. Is it dry already? What? Already dry. Okay, cool. Except for the area I just painted. So it has like a slight shine, not as much as the silver, and I'll just try to use the glaze on one of these bands to see how it interacts with it and how it's gonna look when it has some shine, if it's gonna keep the shine of the thing as well. But as far as I can tell, it's not really taking away from the shine. If it does, it's just like minimal, which I think I can live with. With this silver, it when handled with fingers, because of the grease that is in like skin, it will turn this silver slightly black, as that's what I've been told at least. But the oil from the finger will like seep into it and then like miscolor, like make a discoloration. So yeah, I hope that the steel will just take away from that, so it can stay this finish for as long as possible. I am back with a freshly washed brush, and it has a little bit of stain, but that's just aesthetically. It doesn't really affect the performance of the brush, so don't worry about that. If your brushes have stains, like a lot of mine do have stains, like this is the natural color of the bristle, and some of them have a lot of stain, but it doesn't really affect the performance. They get a little bit more stiff over time with use, like this is super soft compared to this one next to it. But since these are my acrylic brushes, I don't really care that much, because acrylic do tend to degrade your brush more as they're used, so I use these for various things because I'm not too precious about these compared to my watercolor brushes, which I precious a lot. I don't know if you're able to see. Let's see if I can get it in. Now I've painted or glazed over this top ring here, not this ring right here. And as far as I can tell, it's just smoothing out the shine a little bit, so it doesn't have that sharper highlight as the rest of it does. But it still has more than this part here. So it still looks metally, like metal. And I think I'll just go with this just to seal it all in and make it hold on and last longer. I am back inside again. I'm just letting this bad boy just harden and cure. I don't really want to fiddle too. I know I'm handling right now, but I don't really want to fiddle too much with it. With like going over things. I don't know if I have to later. So now I'm just putting it at the side, and I'm working on the saber part, if you can call it that. So where it will light up, hopefully with the light from the torch lighting it up. I really don't know how it will work out. I made a test a little while back where I rolled up, these are laminated pieces, and I know that's not the intended purpose of a laminator, where you just laminate the sheets, but that's what I did because I wanted to have some see-through tubes which were going over, and now I'm handling it again. Don't come for me. This is just like a test part. So yeah, the theory is that when I press, come on, that it lights up, and I just have to aim it correctly so it lights up properly. Right now it's not really very visible, but I hope that in the final result it will be. So these are the tubes that I used for the handle itself, so I know it's the thickness. And I know that if wrapping around these, I will have the size I need. So I'm just gonna wrap 3 sheets because that's approximately 90 centimeters. And I think that's fitting for the length of the handle, because the handle is quite long compared to a normal like sword handle. I have like a cosplay sword I tried to measure it by. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And I will try to tape these together with normal tape. I forgot what this is called. Stello tape? Something like that. It'll be written on the screen. It's just see-through, and I hope that I can place it properly enough to not like make too much of a visible sore eye or something like that. That's my plan. And I just have some masking tape to just seal things in, hold it in place until I can do it pretty. So I'm finally done. This is the final product, and I just attached tube to the handle, and I think it turned out great. Even like it has a few scratches here and there, but I just think it gives to the aesthetic of like wear and tear. With the tubing you can kind of see the seams where the tubes are attached to each other. Where's the other one? It is here. There's not much I can do about it. The same goes with like the back of it, where the pieces of the sheets of plastic go over each other. There's not much I can do about it, but I think it looks fine. The sword is not really meant to light up in daylight either. It's more for dim lighting, because then the light is more visible. Like I can just try and turn it on here. So this is the lightest setting it has. You can just see it slightly on my hand, I think. So yeah, that's the extent of the light in daylight. Right now it's also very shiny out, like sunny outside. I have my curtains down. But I really like it. And in dim lighting it looks awesome, and I will show you some b-roll and some pictures afterwards to just show you the final product up close. But overall I'm super happy with it and proud of it, and I think my friend is gonna be really happy with it as well, also because she knows that I put a lot of time in the things I make, and she's a big Star Wars fan, so I hope that she will love her own little lightsaber. And this project has been a long one. I don't think I've ever made such a big one ever before. Also not going into this not knowing what I was doing, which probably also shows in the video. But I really hope that you enjoyed it, just seeing me just fiddle around, because this was really fun for me, and I'm considering making one for myself too, because having one of these just lying is super cool. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you will subscribe and maybe like it, maybe put a comment down below, because I've put a lot of effort into it. And all that's left to do now is just rolling the b-roll and some final shots of this epic lightsaber. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Katrine.
Jeg skal nok
Pip.
Jo, det er kun så fast. We haven't had it for like 7 minutes.
Show only.
Det kan put this together. Du kunne godt, hvis du gerne vil have limon, så skal jeg nok lige.
Jeg skal nok sørge for, at jeg kun bruger
Jeg bruger kun min ægte sværd til sådan noget.